This tutorial will demonstrate how to create a slotted wheel by first producing the 2D profile. The 2D profile will then be revolved to produce a solid object. A slot will be created, which will then be extruded and arrayed. The arrayed extrusions will then be subtracted from the solid. For the 2D sketch, the view will be set to world plan and the work plane will be removed. Draw two straight intersecting lines to the approximate length shown, then use the parallel tool to create the following offsets. When the 2D fillet tool is set to a radius of 0, it can be used to trim 90-degree corners. Produce the parallel offsets to represent the diameter. Watch how an angled construction line can be used to produce a line at 15 degrees. A single line can now be drawn using the construction line as a guide. Be sure to target the intersections when drawing this line. The fillet radius tool can now be set to 2 to create the inner radii. The new sketch objects to the right of the center line can now be selected and mirrored. Select, then delete the indicated lines to reveal only the outer profile. The construction lines can also be cleared from the editor. To revolve this profile, the segments must be connected as a single polyline. By selecting the auto joining option, all polylines will be connected after the first segment is selected. Make sure the line segments are connected as a single polyline. To produce the solid, activate the work plane and turn the view to isometric southeast. A parallel construction line will be used to create an offset from this edge. The keyboard shortcut N is used to snap to a near point on a construction line. The Revolve tool is now used to revolve the profile around the construction line. Apply the following options to reduce the surface lines of the new solid. Use the Isolate and Hide Objects option on both the profile and the solid. In order to draw on a specific face of an object, the work plane must be aligned to that face. The work plane has a three-dimensional axis and can be rotated to align to a preferred face. By selecting the Edit Current Work Plane option, the handles of the selector can be aligned to the preferred face. The work plane origin can also be seated precisely on a solid. The work plane origin tool is used to specifically seat a work plane. In this example, a convenient snap point would be the center of extents of the solid. Position the cursor anywhere on the solid and left-click. Use different views to make sure the work plane exactly bisects the solid. Turn the view to the right side, then insert two concentric circles as shown. To draw the slots, hide the model so that only the circles are displayed in the editor. A step angle can be set so that the Shift key can be used to draw in specific angle increments. Lines can now be drawn in increments of 15 by holding down the keyboard Shift key. Start the single line from the center of the circle, then hold down the Shift key to draw the first angle at 15 degrees. The Trim tool can now be used to trim the lines and circles into a slot. End the isolation of the hidden objects to view the newly drawn slot in context. The slot profile will now be extruded to a mid-plane height of 13. The extrusion can now be arrayed radially around the center point. Input C to target the center of the array, then tab to the data fields and input the following information. When the array is complete, the extruded parts can now be subtracted from the primary solid. Select the 3D Subtract tool, then select the primary solid first, then the subtracting unit. This can be repeated with the other extrusions. The solid geometry of the part can be modified in the part tree of the Selection Info palette. The part tree lists the components of the solid. Each component of the solid can be modified individually. A component of the solid can also be removed without affecting the overall design. In this example, the spin revolution angle can be modified here. As can be observed, the section through the solid shows the original profile shape.